Hi everyone, welcome back to the Gypsy Caravan. I'm Shan. How you doing? Today I'm going to be talking about all the best primers, or all my favorite primers at least, that I like to use, that are specifically directed for women or people who have dry or dehydrated skin or a combination skin type, but are looking specifically for that really glowy, lit from within sort of appearance when it comes to their skin. Just so that you are aware, that's my kind of primer that I look for. I always go for the types of primers or products just in general that will give my skin that very glowy or dewy appearance without looking oily, giving off the appearance of just really good healthy skin. So let's get into my favorite primers. Okay, so the first product I have here isn't really a primer, it's more of a moisturizer, but it's still something I love to go in with, and you've probably seen me use it multiple times on my channel, and that is the Strobecream from MAC. This one specifically is in the shade Peachlite. They do have different variants. I think they have between 6 and 7 variants. The reason why I prefer the shade variant Peachlite is because I feel like it is the closest to skin tone. So like the original one is quite a nice undertone. It's a very pinky silver undertone, and I feel that works really well with the people who have incredibly fair skin. It just gives it really nice dewy luminosity to the skin without adding a harsh variant to the mix. So I feel like the red lights and the gold lights are really nice for your super dark ebony skins or like your medium tone skins. This one, Peachlite, I feel is just like an all-rounder. It works well with every kind of skin tone. It gives a really nice peachy warmth to the skin, which I really enjoy. So the reason why I like Strobecream, which is a moisturizer by the way, is because it gives the skin an instant boost of hydration, as it is more or mainly directed to the people who have dry to dehydrated skin. This is a kind of moisturizer for you. I really like it because it gives the skin a really nice soft ethereal luminosity to the skin, so it's not going to be this harsh oily metallic look on the skin. It just gives the skin this very gentle veil of glow, which I really like. You can totally wear this alone with a bit of mascara, do your brows and a nice lip color, and your skin just looks healthy and super radiant, like very plumpy, which is just my vibe, my jam. You can apply this underneath your products, you can apply this over your products. Just be very careful about how you apply this, because it will tend to move your product. And also you can mix this in your foundations. I generally used to do that a lot when I was at MAC. I just used to mix everything together, and it just kind of shears out the foundation just enough that you still get coverage from your foundation, but it has that really nice soft dewy look to the skin, which is what we're after. So the next primer I really enjoy is this one here. This is from Physicians Formula. It is the Spotlight Illuminating Primer. This is kind of a drugstore brand. I have a good mix of things here, so don't worry about the price range. There's everything from So the reason I really enjoy this primer is because it gives off a more metallic finish compared to the Strobecream. So if you're not into that sort of thing, I wouldn't suggest it. It is straight up Tin Man. You can totally use it as a highlighter or like a liquid highlighter underneath the skin. So if you're not into that sort of thing, that's fine. I love it. That's like the best thing about this primer. But essentially the other good thing about this primer is that it has age-defying ingredients in it, so it's going to help diffuse and smooth over fine lines. I wouldn't necessarily say like texture and deeper wrinkles, but it's got a blurring effect to it. So when you apply it onto the skin, it's got this very soft focus finish to the skin, which essentially just means that it's just going to give you an airbrush sort of look over your skin to help just diffuse fine lines, wrinkles, minimal texture, because essentially with it being a very glowy sort of primer, it will emphasize really bad texture. So like I can never wear it across my nose because I have really bad enlarged pores in that area, so I just avoid that altogether. It contains argan oil, or is infused with argan oil, which is really nice for super dry to extremely dehydrated skin, because argan oil is essentially there to give you an instant boost of hydration, and it also hydrates your skin throughout the day. This is the type of primer where you can smooth this across your skin and wear it clean bare, which I have done pretty much. I've been doing that a lot recently, where I won't even do foundation. I'll just do a couple pumps of this or any primer that I use with a bit of concealer, and I'll still do my face as is, and you can't even tell that I'm not wearing foundation. That's how amazing some of these primers really are. So again, you can just smooth it over the skin and wear it naturally bare. You can mix this in your products. You can use it as a liquid highlighter, because again, like I said, this is quite metallic. It is a super strong beam of light that comes to your skin. So generally I would only use about a pump and a half of this if I'm wearing it alone. If I am mixing it in product, or if I'm wearing it underneath my skin, I will push it to maybe 2 pumps depending on how I feel that day. The next primer I have here is a little bit more on like the pricier side. It's not super expensive, but it's definitely more than the Strobecream from MAC. This is the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. You can see like I am on my way out, and I only just literally bought this the beginning of last year, and I'm like nearly done. I'm in love with this. This primer is just amazeballs. So again, this is, I would consider the Spotlight primer to be a dupe for the Becca one. Reason being is because their claims are very, very similar. It has a blurring filter to the skin, the Becca one specifically. It contains vitamin C, which helps gives the skin an instant boost of not only hydration, but like radiance to the skin. So this one definitely has a more citrusy scent to it. The only difference I'd say between Spotlight and Becca is that the finish, or the ethereal look of this glow, is a lot softer and more of a lit from within sort of effect compared to Spotlight. Spotlight is super intense. It's super bright and illuminating. Where this, I would probably suggest this for like a matric farewell, or bridal makeup, or day to day for natural. It's so nice to wear this alone as well, and for those types of makeup looks, because it just gives a very soft, very pretty, angelic glow to the skin. It's boss. This is so nice. You can also mix this with like your foundations and things to share them out. Personal preference, I love wearing this with a powder foundation. I know that sounds super strange, but I feel like if I want to give my powder that really nice glowy lit from within look, which you can achieve through a powder, this is generally the primer that I always just tend to reach for. I'm less than looking for something super intense, then I'll go for the Spotlight one. So the next primer I have here is another one of our drugstore listings. This one is by L'Oreal, and it's called the Magic Lumi Light Infusing Primer. This I would say is a dupe for Strobecream, because again, it is so similar. They do very similar things, just this one's obviously a little bit cheaper, and much more smaller and compact. So I have used this multiple times before when they still did this in our country. It's now been discontinued in our country, so I had to buy a couple of these in America last year when I was traveling. Just so you know, you have to order this online if you're here. Again, like I said, it's very similar to the Strobecream, so it's going to give that really nice glowy healthy look on the skin. The only thing I don't quite like, the tiniest little thing that I don't like about this primer specifically, is that it leaves a white cast on the face. So it says that it's a universal primer on their website. I wouldn't say so, because the finish of this is very pearlescent. It's very white, it's very vanilla, it's very light. So for my nose is itchy. So for very fair skins to going onto a tan skin, you can wear this as a primer. It's amazing. But I think anything darker, you might have to consider mixing this in with something else, like a mattifying primer maybe, if you want to add some glow. But other than that, I really do like this primer. My makeup lasts long with it. It doesn't gather up in textured areas. Not to say that it's smoothing or anything, but I just find with my skin it works really well over my textured areas. It helps to also again diffuse and blur out any fine lines and wrinkles. Again, not the really deep textured parts of your face, but for an overall glow that's cost effective, I would definitely recommend this. Again, I haven't mixed this into anything, but I have worn this underneath my foundation powder, and it just looks beautiful. It looks really, really nice, and it gives a very soft glow on the skin. Last but not least, this is kind of skincare, kind of primer, kind of setting spray. It's pretty much all three if you want. And that is Fix+ by MAC. This one specifically is Magic Radiance. So you can see like it's a new bottle. Well, it's a new design. They have so many variants right now that they have to obviously change the packaging so that you know which one's which. So this one specifically, Magic Radiance, is a mixture of products by MAC to create this specific Fix+. This was created, as far as I understand, it was a mixture that was created backstage, specifically for Fashion Week, where you mix, if I can remember, you mix essential oils, which is their oil, the Lightful Sea Softening Lotion, which is a skincare product by MAC, and hyaluronic acid. Now essentially all those products from MAC and the hyaluronic acid all have a baseline element to them, and that is to add hydration to the skin. Hyaluronic acid is really good for you if you have dry or dehydrated skin, because it's going to give you not only an instant boost of hydration, but it's going to give you an everlasting expulsion of hydration throughout the day. The essential oils is really good as well. Essentially, I have one here. Essentially, it's just a straight up beauty oil. Like you can see, it's an oil. This is also another favorite of mine. But I don't use this as a primer. I use this as like a mixing agent for other things. So I wouldn't suggest this as a primer. But this is really nice to mix in like foundations, in your strobe creams, in your primers. If you really just want to give yourself a boost of hydration, not necessarily product to sit longer, because again, it's an oil. I wouldn't suggest it for anything or anyone who has less than dry skin. It's not going to do anything for you. But essentially, yeah, so it's a mixture of this, which is super hydrating and so good for your skin. And then of course the softening lotion from MAC is essentially almost like a toner, where it contains ingredients and products that help to plump up the skin, soften the texture of your skin, and just overall give you a natural boost of hydration and glow. So of course now you're going to put all these products together and you have one huge hero product, which is the Fix+ Magic Radiance. So again, like I said, this is technically a setting spray. It's technically also a primer. It's a multi-use product, and it says here all day hydrating spray, and it contains vitamin C as well, which we've previously discussed. Vitamin C is great for your skin in terms of hydration, which is also in Lightful Sea, if you don't know. So the C stands for vitamin C. The only thing I will say though is that I don't enjoy using this over my makeup, because after adding so many hydrating products, adding the Fix+ over top tends to make me lean towards the oilier side on my face, and I don't want that. I'm looking for like a natural glow, like you see here today. So I prefer to use this as a primer or as skincare, and then set my face with something else. And also because this guy is featured in here, putting an oil over your face or over your products is just going to kind of tend to melt or eat away your products, and that's not good. It's wasteful. So some girls that I have spoken to say they don't experience that. I personally do. So I guess it's just user advice, up to you which you prefer. You have to shake this quite well because again it contains this guy, so you gotta shake it well before you use it. But it smells amazing. It's probably the best Fix Plus I have ever used. If we're discussing or comparing all the Fix Pluses, this one just smells the nicest to me. It just does something that the other Fix Plus bottles just don't do, so that's why this is a top fave of mine. Okay, so there we have it. Just a quick little overall view of the types of primers that I enjoy using, especially if you have dry or dehydrated skin. Obviously I wouldn't recommend this for everyone, but if you are the type of person who is looking for a primer that's going to give you a natural glow or just make your skin look amazing, these are definitely my choices. And there's a good mix of drugstore kind of high-end and super high-end. Obviously there's a whole world of primer and primer products out there that I would love to get my hands on right now. I'm just kind of stuck in a rut in terms of makeup. Like, I don't explore makeup like I want to, or how I envision myself to explore makeup. I really enjoy going to the shops and like feeling products instead of shopping online. But because this whole pandemic has made me freaking crazy, I'm not skeptical to leave my house. I'm just very picky choosy about what I leave my house for, which is obviously a problem. And also I need a whole lot of cash for what I want to buy, so that's also another problem, but we'll get to that at a later stage. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little review or this little haul collection of my favorite primers. I hope it's helped you find something that maybe you weren't sure of, or you wanted to try one of these but you weren't sure about buying it, and now you know. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next tutorial.